Hey everyone, it's Andy here, and this is my follow-up video to talk about a lot of the questions and comments I got from issues with people getting the child-dependent stimulus payment. This was a $600 stimulus payment that was part of the second stimulus package. I posted a video a few days ago, and there's a link on the top here. You'll see it there, but there's been a lot of questions around people having issues getting this payment, being eligible for this payment, and not sure if they haven't received it because they got their own adult stimulus, but they didn't get the child stimulus. So I wanted to explore some of those themes here. I've included some comments I've got from actual people here, but I just give you a sense of where you can go to get answers, give you some hope that you're not alone, and hopefully you'll find the information useful here. As always, if you find this helpful, please like and subscribe via the options below. And then you can also check more information out on my site, savingtoinvest.com. I will post additional links in the description as well on some more details with the hundreds of comments that I've got on this topic. So just to recap what the dependent stimulus payment is. So the round two payment is $600. The first one was $500 under the CARES Act. This new one is $600 and it is paying now. And I have a whole video on, I talked about the qualification thresholds for this, but this stimulus payment is paying now. The IRS started making payments for the overall stimulus package back in end of 2020. And now that we're in early January, about 40 to 50% of payments have been made. Again, this is now adult stimulus payments and dependent payments. And as you'll see later in this video, the adult stimulus payments have, for the most part, come through. They've hit the bank accounts. They've hit people, and checks will start coming out in the next few weeks. But the dependent stimulus payments have been lagging, and a lot of people are reporting issues similar to the first round, that they got the adult payment, they didn't get their dependent payment, or they only got it for certain dependents. Now, you have to remember, all your dependent information is based on your 2019 tax return information for this round of stimulus payments. So make sure you're eligible, make sure you have the dependents in your 2019 return. There haven't been any changes. This includes also your payment details. So if your bank accounts have changed, or if you had new bank accounts, or those issues with your last bank account, that could delay getting your stimulus payment and your dependent payments. Now, for people who've already got their adult payment in the right account, the dependent stimulus should be going to that account. So that's probably not an issue. But a lot of people who haven't got the payment is because they truly did not have these dependents in their 2019 tax returns. And the way to resolve that is to file for that stimulus payment, because it is an advanced recovery credit on your 2020 return. So file for it in this year's 2020 return and you'll get that payment. The other thing is your child has to be under the age of 17 at 2020. This includes new babies born this year who are eligible for both the dependent stimulus payments this year. But if your child is 17 and over as of next year, they will not be eligible for this payment. So a lot of high school kids, colleges who you probably claim on your tax return as a dependent, unfortunately, the way the legislation is written this time, which didn't fix the previous issue, those under the age of 17 won't get this stimulus payment. But I'm going to show you now some of the themes and issues with the stimulus payment that I'm seeing. And I've tried to bucket it in categories based on comments and try to put an answer. Again, as always, this information is based on information as of now. It's changing. This is changing every day, but this will hopefully shed some light on some of the issues that are commonly being seen across different readers. So the first scenario I'm going to look at, which is a theme of question, is, are you eligible for this amount? And so this is where people have come in and left comments where they Get My Payment tool, which is the tool where you can check the status of your stimulus payment. And also, as with the first payment, you could make certain updates. But right now, the Get My Payment tool, which just came back online and is still having issues with all the data because the IRS is rolling this out pretty quickly and they only update their systems overnight. There is right now no option to add dependents, no option to change your banking information or even your home address. And if it went to the wrong account, you can't go and update that. This is a known item. The IRS is basically saying that they're using 2019 tax return or what was there in the non-filer tool originally to make these payments. So if it's gone to a wrong bank account or if it's gone to an incorrect account, you have to wait for the IRS or the bank to reject that payment, and the IRS will then try and fix it and send you a check. And I'll post a link up here. You can see another topic on this, how to address this, but you cannot change any of the information for the stimulus payment for this second payment. Right now, IRS is just paying it out with the information they have, right? So if you try, the way it'll be fixed was you'll get a check or debit card later in January. So once they've done their first round of payments by mid-January, the IRS will then go back and address all these error payments and try and pay it back the right way, and they'll either send you a letter, they'll do it by check most likely, which will take 2 to 3 weeks, or a debit card in some situations. And this will take some time. It could take 2 to 5 weeks depending on the financial institution rejecting the amount, verification issues if it's deposited but then someone else claims it. But if you don't, and none of these work, you can actually go and then claim it in a 2020 tax filing. That's probably the best option for a lot of people with slightly complex issues. If you're not filing a tax returns, you'll just have to wait till the IRS enables a Get My Payment tool to allow you to update information. But this issue is probably going to cause some delays in receiving your payment, and there really is no quick solution to it other than just waiting for the IRS to fix it or filing it with your 2020 tax return. The other one, probably the most common question or issue I see is and adults will say, I got my second stimulus payment of $600 for themselves or for their partner, but nothing from my child. Where is it? So they've either received the payments for the couple and the dependents haven't got the payment. And this is by far the most common issue. I've got comments like, I received the stimulus for me and my husband, but not our two dependents that are 8 and 9. Received it last round with no issues. Now what? Well, the other comment is, I had no problem with the first payment. I got the full amount for myself and 2 children. This go around, I woke up early to only get $600 and I was crushed. So these kind of comments, and you will see on this video and my other earlier videos and some of the articles I've posted in the description below, this is by far the most common, and it's almost eerily similar to the first stimulus payments, the dependent stimulus payments, where adults got the $1,200, $2,400 checks, and then the dependent payments, which was $500 in that time, didn't get paid for several weeks or months afterwards, and some people still haven't got it, and the IRS has said go back and file it in your tax return. So this is, what the IRS officially is saying for these payments. Just to give you an idea, like today is Jan 5th, and so these payments are coming in batches. So even if you got your adult payment, just reading what the IRS is saying, the direct deposit process may take several days. You may have seen the payments early, you may have seen it late, and paper checks will even take 2 to 3 weeks later, including debit checks, right? And of course, if you live overseas, it's even longer. There is no action for you to do right now if you haven't got your other payment. You just have to wait for the IRS to finish processing. 15 days, mid-January is what I'm hearing it'll take till. They'll keep updating the Get My Payment tool with the latest status. So hopefully you'll start seeing some of these missing dependent stimulus checks. But you can't really do much right now. And trying to call the IRS is not going to help much. It's still making payments, and so calling them is not. They know there's some glitches with also the dependent payment, and you'll just have to wait. So the other situation is for non-filers, and so this one is, I'm reading it again, is once again I didn't receive the 600 each for my kids. What are they doing this time? And they assume the IRS. It took 4 months last time to get the missing payment because of the glitch on the non-filers and IRS, and that's the tool that they allowed for non-filers, which had a lot of issues. Now it happened again. I thought that since they finally had sent it out last time, it was fixed for any new stimulus, but it wasn't. I didn't get the money for my kids. What do I do now? So this glitch, as the IRS calls it, is a system issue. And luckily, one of the commenters, Amy, responded, which I think encapsulated what I would say as well pretty well. She did get through the IRS, Amy, and she said that they're aware of the problem and working on sending the dependent payments. So here's to hoping. Amy's best friend got the full amount, including her 4 kids' amount, and so did her sister. So it's not happening to everybody, which is a good sign. It shows that some payments are going through, some are not. Again, it's just the data and the systems and the fact that this was rolled out so fast. The bill was approved December 27th, and the check started going out December 29th. So they've tried to reuse a lot of the first round, which I think they also meant some of the same issues, which I thought were fixed, but it is a known issue. There is a glitch. A lot of people have said there is a glitch in and people who have been able to get through the IRS is saying that. Now, I don't know if that's true or just a volume, but again, you have to be patient over the next 3 to 4 weeks as these payments come out and get processed. The other one, which is more again eligibility, and this is probably again the ones that will take some time to resolve, is when you have multiple people claiming the same dependent. Child support deductions and fraud checks, which means people, this fraudulent stuff. So this is what happens when you have an ex-spouse or you have a guardian have claimed the same person as a dependent in the 2019 return. So this has probably caused issues with the filing the return back in 2019. But if that wasn't fixed, the IRS is going to flag payments of these people as the dependent can't be claimed in 2 tax returns. They will use, generally speaking, the first approved 2019 return to make that payment. So if you're expecting a payment for a dependent, but your ex or someone else claimed it, you likely will not see the payment. It'll go to your ex, and you'll have to go through an IRS process to change that. And I'll put a link for more details on that. But for example, someone quoted first payment they took my whole family stimulus for husband's child support. For kids, it took till Thanksgiving for them to give some back, and they still left out two of the kids. Now this time, my husband and I received nothing of our 1,200, but all four of the kids got nothing. So this is from Jenna. And then the other one was from Madison. Our whole stimulus check was intercepted. My current husband owes arrears, and they took mine and my children's from another marriage. Ironically, my ex doesn't file taxes, so I won't even get his. How am I supposed to support my kids? So these are really unfortunate situations, and it is a long process to unravel. You probably will have to end up talking to someone at the IRS to work through it. There are forms to go back and claim this. Unfortunately, it is a process. What I'll say is that if you're finding that your dependents are not there, make sure you claim them and you with an approved IRS 2019 tax return. Non-filers will have had the information updated in their tool. If that information was correct, at least you know that, especially if it worked for the first dependent check, then it should work for this one, and it's probably just more a payment issue. If you didn't have those dependents reported in your 2019 tax return, someone else did, they will get the payment, and legally they will be entitled to it first, and you may have to call up the IRS or pursue legal means to get it back. They've also confirmed, the IRS has confirmed, and this is per their website, that the stimulus check will not be offset or intercepted for those who owe tax, have a payment agreement, or other federal or state debts. It will be offset by 50% for past due child support, but otherwise you should get the full stimulus payment. It won't be deducted, or those be deducted. So that was an issue with the first check. This time they've clarified it, and right now, unless it's for past due child support, you should get the full stimulus amount, because the idea is meant to be a real-time stimulus. So for non-filers and missing dependents, you can see these are some examples here. So this is a bit harder because people who don't file a tax return, which was the main source of information for the second round of dependent stimulus payments, what do they do if they haven't got it, right? So they basically can see these two comments. They got that 600, then they get the 1,200. So while in the first instance, the non-filers tool has allowed you to update dependent information, updated to allow you to submit bank information. This time around, they're not doing that because of the rapid nature of the payments. They're coming out very quickly, so they're just using the information they have, as I discussed earlier. So if you don't receive a payment sort of by mid-January or end of January, wait to get, you may be getting a check because IRS can't figure it out. The bank accounts were wrong, or whatever reason, they'll send you a paper check or debit card. I think will also, towards the end of January, again, this is my expectation, there's nothing official from the IRS on this, but I think what they'll do is they will open up the non-filers portal to allow you to update dependent information, correct bank accounts for people that truly cannot go and file a tax return. They may ask some people to do a simple tax return, which is free through the IRS website, where you can actually file it. Even if you don't earn enough income, you'll get a big refund, which will include the stimulus check. And I think that may be the most efficient option to eventually get the stimulus payment. But know that you'll have to eventually get this information to the IRS in some fashion to get this payment. Otherwise, they have no way of knowing that you are eligible to it. It won't just automatically happen. So keep watching the IRS website. I will update with another video, and I'll update some of the links below in the description with some articles when there's more instructions on how to follow up these issues. But you need to, if you don't get it and the IRS does not send you a fix and the Get My Payment status still does not show that your dependent is going to get paid, you may have to go look at filing a simple tax return, which doesn't cost you money, and is probably the most efficient way of getting this back. That's the end of the video. I know I went through a lot, and hopefully it provided you with some information that was useful. Please like this video, subscribe to it for more updates, and I'll keep posting additional information as it comes to hand. Thanks.